Welcome to Behind the Mirror podcast. Thank you for watching, listening, liking and subscribing. I'm Lisa.
Hi, I'm Laura.
And today we are welcoming back Brian.
I'm Brian and he's back.
Nice to have you back.
Before we begin the episode, I would like to put out a massive shout out to Auchinleigh Tyres, who are mobile 24 hours of the day. And if you are, especially if you're a mobile stylist, nothing worse than on your way to a wedding or something and your car breaks, then they will come and help you repair your tyre. They did a great job on mine, so thank you so much. Anyway, back to the podcast.
The festivities.
Did you miss us?
I did. That's why I had to come back. I've not seen you for ages. It's a crack.
I feel so far away.
I know.
I don't like the way this is set
There's
up.
like a,
but
there's
we'll
like a
roll with
space,
it. I
isn't
know.
it?
I know.
I feel like I should jump in the middle
I'm
and
far too
breakdance.
close to Lisa.
All right. Rude. I'm just telling it like it is. Do you know what I mean? Like she's actually turned the chair away.
I feel like I'm at school, like sitting side by side.
Don't copy my
Are you one of those hairdressers when you do a consultation and you sit down next to your client but you're really far away from them?
I like to sit at eye level. That's a pet hate of mine when people do a consultation behind their back. I hate
It's
that.
like the influencers that all do the consultations in the mirror and you're like, you would never do that in the salon.
I know.
Okay, I do that in the salon.
I think
Would you?
we were
Yeah, my salon's
you?
tiny.
Oh,
I've got
that's-
nowhere
fair
for them to
enough.
sit.
You're
Space is
meant
a
to
thing.
sit eye level, aren't you? You're meant to get on their level. It's
If I
less...
see any of my stylists as I go through the salon and they've just stood behind somebody and they're talking to them through the mirror, I'm like, I literally will go and get a stool, put it beside them and be like, would you like a seat? Which means sit down and do your consultation properly.
The worst one's at the backwash. There's not even a mirror.
That's right, and their hair's wet.
Yeah, I hate that. I know.
I mean, I would challenge you to find space for a stool in mine. It's like-
Which is, I think that's fair enough. You've got to do what works for you, but no,
Yeah.
absolutely in the salon,
know.
I'm like, sit down.
I'm
and
so
talk to your
excited
client.
for my new salon. I'm
I know,
so
you must be
excited. Like
buzzing.
once it's like I've got so many visions and dreams that are not going to be realistic for the budget that's coming with this salon, but I'm so excited for
I think it's nice to be able to give the experience. I think that's the biggest thing. Like
what it's
obviously
all about.
that speakers night I was at that you were talking, it was amazing. It was so good because I think one of the biggest things for me that you were saying about how you deliver like the experience right the way through and having a salon that everyone's employed in, you can allow that continuity, whereas the loss of control, having everyone working for themselves, I couldn't do it.
I think that's the thing. It's like people come to salons for an experience, don't they? Like I always say, there's 50% is all about the technical and the amazing hair that we do. The other 50% is all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's about the human connection. What you guys talk about on the podcast, it's about the chat and it's about, the experience that they receive in the salon, because you might not be the best hairdresser in the world, but if your clients absolutely love you and you give them the best experience, then you're an absolute winner. You're a success. So I think it's really important that you recognise that. And it doesn't matter whether it is a smaller salon and you don't have space for a stool or you're a huge salon brand with multiple locations. That experience still needs to be what the client's looking for.
Yeah.
I think your vibe attracts your tribe as well, doesn't it? Like
Absolutely.
I've had so many clients that don't come back to me because I'm loud and bubbly.
Are you?
And they maybe want like an Aveda experience of like, wellness, whale music and be seen and not heard, and I'm not her.
Aye, don't
She's
come to
not
me either because you'll not enjoy that.
Yeah, so like obviously Laura's salon offers like you can book a
Yep.
silent appointment if that's more suited to you.
Yep.
I can't because I run too many people at the same time in a very small environment, so it couldn't be silent. I mean, I might be silent to you. I'd feel so awkward. Just my personality type. I'd be like, you okay?
We love it. Like we offer it, but there's some stylists that just would not work with. Like one of my stylists, Gavin, shout out to Big Gav, but physically impossible to shut him up.
Yeah.
Like there's no way he could offer it. He doesn't even, when we get a client form that gets sent out to the client beforehand and they can select it, Gav doesn't even look at the last question of, would you like a silent appointment?
You're not getting it.
Just like, aye, it's not for me.
At least he's honest.
Tough.
There's nothing funnier though, see if somebody books it and they've not meant to book it. We've had that before.
Yep.
And then so we have to ask them at the beginning, so you've requested a silent appointment because there's been people in the past that have selected it. We've not asked. And then they're talking through it, but you don't know whether to talk back to them. So you're like, do you want me to be silent? Is it both of us being silent? So you
Maybe
have
we need to do a
review.
collaboration with the UK sign language, like, do you know what I mean? So that you can just be like that in the mirror. Just,
Yeah.
That would be so good.
So you have to make sure, it's definitely...
Imagine the review. Really amazing hair, but
But she didn't talk
speak.
much.
I don't know why. I know. You'd have to respond, hi Sheila, you did in fact tick the box on your
know.
consultation.
I know. Or sometimes as well, they'll select the silent appointment with somebody else, but then the cut's in with someone else.
Oh, and they don't know.
Yeah,
One
so
person
then-
talks and one
I know,
person doesn't.
I know. It's almost as if you have to be quiet while
Some
they're
are
in.
really complicated things. See, you could just be like Brian and
know.
I just never shut up, and then
That's
therefore
exactly it. It doesn't
not
work
a
for me.
thing.
I try my best, but nah, sorry.
Yeah, so thank you for coming back.
Pleasure.
And I thought we would maybe go into some controversial topics with you
I love
today.
it. It's my favourite thing.
So that's why I didn't want to send you the script of what we were going to kind of ask. So we're going to play a game later about hairdresser would you rather.
It's like a scene at a Saw.
I know.
I've not been sent the script either, by
Oh,
the way,
that's
so
good,
this is
that's
catching
alright.
me off guard.
No, so yeah,
you
we'll
sent me something though.
Yeah, but I didn't send you it all.
Oh, no.
So there's Here Would You Rather. So I'm going to be asking you both questions, but we'll do that at the end. That's
I'm
our
really
finale.
indecisive, you know that.
No, but
And
it's pretty awkward questions.
I'm quite open as well, because if I say one answer, then you say another, I'll listen to your thing and go, aye, that actually makes sense. Maybe I'll change my mind.
Nothing said in stone.
Wait, I've actually, this isn't even on my question list, right? But just to start things off, not really for you because it's not relevant. Would you rather have a bridezilla from absolute horrific bridezilla
Yep.
or a bridezilla drag queen?
In what
Whose
way?
hair you have to do? Like, so both of them, you're doing their hair and you have to pick what nightmare are you having?
Drag queen. I understand drag queens and gay men better than I understand women.
Do they not, like, so do you think their tantrums are like less than,
I can deal with them easier.
right, okay.
Like, I think for me, I'm no good with a bridezilla. So Nicole, who runs like our Roar Bridal side of the business, she is very good, very understanding. She's getting married herself. She knows what it's all about. It's not my thing. I'm just like, what are you stressing about? Like,
You ever done bridal hair?
yeah, I do bridal hair, and my one part of advice that I like almost base the bridal part of our business on is I say to every bride, see if it doesn't go the way you're expecting it to go on the day, something happens. The only person that knows is you, because you're the only person that has the plan. So it really doesn't matter. You're not losing face over anything. Don't panic. So normally when I say that to a lot of folk before I start them, the bridezillaness kind of leaves. I've only had one or two ever in my whole career that have been absolute bridezillas. So I just think the drag queen answer would be more fun.
I've had two brides who didn't book in as brides,
Right.
who came on a Saturday morning for an express hair and makeup package,
yeah.
just for a night out and stuff. It's
Yeah.
not in any way extensive. And then I was like, oh, so where are you off to today? My wedding.
Married, yeah. I've had that a lot.
What?
Do you think they do that because a lot of the time
price.
bridal stuff it's dearer?
I
Yes,
don't-
because you
I
take
don't agree with
longer
it.
and you need a trial so that I can work out what it is we're trying to achieve so that on the day we don't need as long because we've already done the, I don't like that curl or maybe actually that photo has its back and I want it down or whatever. And so it's not about like you're trying to rip someone off because they're getting married. It's like you're paying for your time. And so all of a sudden I've got like an hour in which to do this bridal updo that I've never seen in my life. She's got 6 hairs and a sugary one and no hairpiece. And I'm like, this would have all been ironed out at the trial because we would have said like, wait, we
I
need some
agree with
extensions.
that within reason. The only thing I would say is there is some people who will charge a bride. So if you're a bride and you're coming to my salon, right, and you're just in for a hair up, I wouldn't charge you any more than what I would charge somebody on a Saturday coming in for a hair up because that's still a trial, it's still whatever, blah, blah, blah. What I would say to a bride is you might need to come in twice for exactly the same reason as you're saying. You need to prep the hair and make sure it's perfect for your day.
Yep.
However, I have had like times before where I've had that, like a girl come in and she's like, oh, I'm getting married, and she showed me one of these, you know, these beautiful like Russian sculptures that are all like they're flayed out and blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
They
listen,
use the
babe,
pins, don't they, to
aye,
hold
you've
it
got
all.
2 hairs and a sugary one.
Yeah.
That is no happening. So I think the thing is, like, as long as people aren't just anybody that's getting married, somebody just adds a zero to the price or something, don't they?
No,
So I would charge you more if we're coming out on location.
Yep.
It's specific. There's travel involved. We're taking time off the salon floor to come to your location. Then yeah, you'll get charged more for it. But if you decide that just on that Saturday you're getting married and you're coming in, I'm charging you the same as somebody else that's getting a hair up.
But you're getting the same time,
Aye,
and that's where it's
exactly.
going to go rogue
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Because if you're someone that's dead laid back and you're just like, just make me look nice, then that's perfect. But if you're someone that's very specifically got an image that we might, because you don't even know if your stylist has the capability of doing that.
the
Because
skill, yep.
obviously some people are really good with like really unstructured updos, and then but if someone comes in with a Downton Abbey number,
I'd love a French roll and we're all like that.
Oh my
Back
god.
to college.
I know. Remember those?
They're really
coming
hard.
back.
And they're really back. Aye, I love it.
They are
It's
coming
so
back.
good. I would much rather, I'm the opposite. I'd rather do a much more structured updo than something that's all
And
like
throw up.
soft and a few wee curls and a bump. I'm like,
Oh, I love them all. Oh, remember I bump it. Remember I bump it.
bump. And I'm like, oh,
Do you remember?
nah.
No, do you remember the plastic thing that you could like literally
No.
attach to someone's head and then put the hair over it?
Why would
It's
you
called a
need that
bump
if you
it.
can back
I'm
home
for the
it?
south side of Glasgow. Bump it means something else.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I don't even know what it is. I'm worried.
I'll tell you later.
Right, okay. Because I have got no clue. Right, well, it was a product. If anyone wants to look that up, like just to confirm that whatever on earth Brian's talking about is not what I'm talking
No,
about. It's a
it's
wee
not.
plastic
It's absolutely
circle. Yeah, okay, so That's it. Do you know that? Fine, actually, just when you bring that up,
Yes.
because I think that people think like, so your travelling charge is what petrol should cost, but they're forgetting that you're on the road for an hour, there and back. Maybe
You're also not in the salon for an hour.
So there's 2 hours of your wage and all your staff's wage lost. So when they get, you know, I've had it before where they've gone, oh my gosh, the travelling fee's expensive. I'm like, that covers my time as well as my fuel. Yeah. I am aware that fuel is not that expensive, but I've got to cover the whole cost.
See, I think that's quite difficult because a lot of the time, like, and so saying that maybe 2 or 3 hours, depending on what you've got in, like if you have a colour in, you could be earning like a certain amount of money, but or you could maybe have like 4 cuts in.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. So that's the only way I balance it is that what does my stylist want to do? No, there's more what does my stylist want to do. Right. I'm the kind of stylist who would rather be cutting and colouring all day.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody like Nicole, for example, loves bridal work. Yeah. So I want to keep my team happy, letting them do the work that they want to do. Yeah. Do I make less money on it? Probably. But at the same time, it means they're feeling that their days are varied. They're getting to do the exciting stuff they want to do. So there's definitely a toss-up on that, especially being the owner of the salon.
I love weddings. That's like one of my favourite things. Like, I love the atmosphere. I love going into the room and soaking it all up. Everyone's buzzing. I have done a wedding once though. How will I diplomatically put this? Because it'll become very apparent. Right, so there was a famous funeral happening on the day of the wedding.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
And we had to watch it while I was doing everyone's hair and makeup.
What's the funeral?
It was on in the hotel, and like the bride was like a diehard fan, and so we were. The vibe was.
I can't remember who that was.
I don't know why I was laughing so hard there. I don't know.
But it was quite an uncomfortable experience because it was like usually I'm going in and going like, right, bridesmaids, get my bride a wee prosecco. Let's get this. Let's get some happy songs on. Let's get the vibe all positive.
Did you not say they were crying and stuff?
It was pretty tragic. Yeah, I was not really knowing how to place myself in this experience, and I was like, oh my god. So I kind of joked like, oh, who's get that on? Get that off, you know? And it was like, no, we're watching meant that. To be on. Like it was deliberate. I was like, oh, right. So we're doing that. It was it was as quick as I could like get in and out. And then I always stay till the bride walks down the aisle. But I just went and had a coffee in the cafe because I was like, can I go up? I feel drained.
Nah, even weddings, even my pals, I'm like, invite me to the night thing. I can't be doing all day.
I only want to come
to the reception. I'm not coming to see you get married.
I love a wedding. I love it.
I don't like the pressure on me. I don't know. People can be unpredictable in the day. I'd rather just go to work.
Can you imagine what I would have been like as a bride?
Plus, it's probably because it's always a Saturday as well, and I don't work a Saturday, so it's a pain in the neck.
I know you're a
I'm actually doing a wedding in May, and it's only because she's been a client of mine forever. Yep. That's the only time I really will do it. If they come to me and ask me, I don't put myself out there like I wouldn't ever promote myself.
I can't really do them anymore because obviously like I'm reduced hours, and the only weddings I now do are my own clients. They're coming to me because I couldn't ever advertise because I don't have childcare and I need to be able to fit my own clients. I do 12 balayages on a Saturday, so I'm not sure I'm going to juggle those people.
But how are you supposed to work out your loss at that point as well?
Yeah,
it's quite hard.
I just love it though. It does break up your week when you're saying like.
That's the only reason I can justify it. So
love it. It gives you something different to do and content for social media and all that fun stuff. So I wanted to talk a wee bit more about your other persona.
Yes, go for it.
What made you decide to become a drag queen?
How did that come about?
Do you know, I'll be honest. So when I moved to the Canaries, I was doing hair and I was freelance, so I was working during the day doing hair, and I really enjoyed it, but it was not as sociable as what you think it would be. Like, you think about it as a language barrier. Like, you don't really get to meet people, so you don't make as many pals. And I was just like, I could have another job. So I decided I was going to go and work in a bar at night just to be sociable and earn more money. And then the bar that I eventually ended up working in was Sparkle Show Bar in Gran Canaria, which obviously has shows nightly, and it was epic. And I just thought, why am I serving drinks when I could be up there drinking them and having a good time?
Did you know anyone that worked there before you went?
I knew loads of people like who worked and who were also like performers and drag queens and singers and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, it was never for me. However, I think with my training, like I've been trained to be on stage, so I can stand on stage and present, but the whole time it was all a very serious. It was a hair show presentation style or an educator presentation style. And I was like, I could just get up there and be daft for a wee while. And then, but the same thing as well is like, I was very much like, I'm no dressing up like a woman. You know what I mean? Like it just was like that. And it wasn't until I explored drag a wee bit more and realised it's not really about that. It's about messing with gender and having fun and, you can present any way you want. So then I was like, oh, actually, maybe I would quite like this. And I gave it a bash, and literally it grew legs. It grew legs with tights, with heels on. It was mental. And it's just, I mean, I still do it to this day. I do it less now because obviously with the salons and education, etc., I have less time, but I still love it. It's a good release.
Do you do your own makeup?
All the time.
And did you go on YouTube to learn how to do that?
Absolutely.
Or how did you?
So YouTube, and also the other people you work with. So I got loads of advice from people that were all sitting beside me in the dressing room putting their makeup on. You know, they'd be like, change that wee bit, or, you know, your eyes are bold, so do a nude lip, or like just wee silly things that you can definitely pick up on YouTube, but practice makes perfect. It's like hairdressing. Like the more you do it, the better you get at it. And actually, I think I've gone the other way. I've done it that long that my makeup now is so extreme that like, that's definitely Ginger's face. Like nobody else would want to replicate it.
I absolutely love it. So we didn't really go into it in the last one because it was we were obviously doing an introduction, talking a lot about hair and stuff. But now that you're back, I'm picking his brains. Would you do makeup on another drag queen? Like, do you feel confident?
I've done like makeup for like friends who want to get into drag and stuff like that, and it's very apparent that I have a very specific look, but if you flip it the other way, if somebody was to do my makeup, I don't think I'd feel comfortable.
Right.
So I get the idea for girls, if they're going on a night out and somebody else does their makeup and they just don't feel like them. I kind of understand it. Like my makeup is very specific to that character. So I'm like, oh, if the eyebrows aren't sitting right, or if the lips not big enough, like there's just, I don't know, I just don't feel like me.
It's
so
like
I'd
a
have to wipe it
personal
off
thing
and
though,
go.
isn't it? I know.
It's mad because it's a character, it's a persona.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
It must
crazy.
be good though, being able to just get up and just be like somebody else. Do you know what I mean? I think that part of it, like,
I mean, I don't know if everybody would say I was everybody else. It's just me being nastier. Like,
yeah.
that's why all my clients get me as being nice because I get to be horrible when I'm in drag. It's my favourite thing.
Can you sing?
I can hold a note, but you'll not see me on X Factor anytime soon. But that's the whole point of drag,
I don't
isn't it?
They can all sing either,
No,
to be
that's
fair,
true.
so it's all right.
But I think that's the whole point in drag, and it's meant to be entertainment for different reasons. Like, I'm not going to get up and sing Les Miserables and be like, and blow the pants off you, but I might
would
go
so
up.
pay to see that.
But I might go up and change the words to "Hey Big Spender" to "Hey Big Bender" and have a laugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just about having. It's just about that. Like, I'll sing a song, but it's going to be funny rather than
too
serious.
seriously, and I suppose.
Like, see, when I host karaoke, sometimes I'll do like a karaoke host gig at the weekends if somebody needs me or whatever, and like people will come up and they'll be like, can you change the key on this song? And you know, when they're finished singing, they wait for their applause and all that. I'm like, it's karaoke, get off the stage.
Oh, it's so cringy.
I'm like, come on, it's not the horseshoe bar.
Even at that though, you're a bit like, oh, come on. See the amount of folk that like seeing on holiday, I'd met a guy and he ran karaoke's and he was a supporting act thing, and then he would sing at his own karaoke. So he would finish karaoke at his work and then go to another
karaoke.
bar
No.
to do karaoke.
No.
And it's like, oh, how much do you love yourself? Come on, mate.
Get a dog. Do you know
We're
what I mean?
sick of hearing your voice.
I know, it's a lot, isn't it?
Get a dog. Love something else instead of yourself.
I know. It's just like, oh, good, you know, we've heard you. We want to hear wee bold John Jack over there. Like, I know, I love it. So we're going to talk about the drag queen thing. Do you know any famous drag queens then? Did you end up working with anyone in Sparkles that went on to do like RuPaul or any of these?
So I was really lucky. So one of my best friends in the whole wide world is Michael Maroli, who was on RuPaul's Drag Race UK season 5, maybe. I forget. That's how much of my bally is.
I was just going to say that. Like,
but I lose track. There's that many like seasons of it now that I kind of forget. I applied for 1 and 2 and then I gave up.
Did
I was
you
like, I'm
actually?
not doing anymore.
Oh, wow.
Aye, it was just.
Shout out to RuPaul. Get
I know
him on.
it was just when COVID had started hitting. So then I was like, who's going to look after 3 salons if I'm away filming for like that amount of time? But yeah, Michael has done so well and still continues to do so well. We're really proud of him. He's fierce. I just seen him in Glasgow at the Stand, and he did his mic drop tour, which was unreal.
Oh,
so he's doing so well. And then on a more somber note, when I left Sparkles, my replacement for Sparkles was the Vivian.
Oh, wow.
So
She's obviously
no longer here with us. So the Vivian again was absolutely massive, and she did so well. I mean, like to go from RuPaul's Drag Race and being on Dancing on Ice, and
I know,
it was so fierce, so a massive loss. But I got a chance to work with Viv loads, obviously coming back for Pride events and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really lucky to have like worked with some amazing drag queens as well. And again, that's where you learn loads of other stuff. You see people do it and you're like, oh, I could do that and twist it and change it. It's exactly how hairdressing works as well, isn't it? You get inspired by people,
Would you ever go and take a job as like a wig stylist, etc., for a drag queen?
Sometimes I think I would quite like to do wigs because you don't need to talk to people. How good is that, isn't it? You just
That's
they
like
just
a complete-
they just drop their hair off and then they pick them back up again. But I've got to say, wig styling is a whole other skill in itself. Like there's an amazing wig stylist called Brenda LeBeau, who is also a drag queen, and she's fierce, so shout out to Brenda. But some of her wig work is unreal, and it's no stuff we would do on a person. It's such a talent.
Yeah.
And it's lots of patience, like, because synthetic hair doesn't do the same thing that natural hair does. So you've got to steam it and
Sticky.
how you work with it. It's
Tuggy.
so, I mean, good on them, but I don't know if I could do it.
I think it's like sometimes when you see the avant-garde categories, like I watched one yesterday, oh my God. And the girl, she was putting together a portfolio with leaves. Her whole thing was like
amazing.
poison ivy type style.
Yep.
Oh my God, it was outrageous. Like it was, but then I thought to myself, like, you're never going to go into a stylist and say, can you do that for my night out tonight?
absolutely.
So it becomes a different skill set in itself because it's not useful for a
It's,
commercial salon.
it is an art form, really,
Yeah.
at that point, rather than your day-to-day
Well, you look at
hairdressing.
this year's British Hairdresser of the Year as Effie Davis from Tony and Guy.
Yeah.
So, like, Effie has been a renowned avant-garde
Yeah.
stylist for years and years, and her work is absolutely beautiful. And no, you're not going to ask for it as a inspiration picture when you're sitting in the salon, but
Yeah.
it's stunning to
Yeah.
look at. So,
It's got its place, I think.
Yeah,
That's the thing,
absolutely.
isn't it?
I think I would quite like to. No, I don't have the patience. I'm actually, I answered my own self there. Like, I'm like that. In my brain, my ADHD was like, I could buy a doll's head tonight and I could buy some poison ivy and I could backcomb the absolute shit.
I do the same thing. I'm like, I would
then
do
I'm
it, and then I
like, oh,
start it, and then my ADHD goes mental, and I'm like, oh, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I start a full head of highlights, and I'm halfway through the bag. I'm like, oh, can somebody take over? And then you think that's where the discipline comes in, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think, no, stick with it because the end result's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, no, totally. It was so like when people say to you like, oh, just a wee root touch up, and you're like, you know, it's essential and it has to, but you're like, I've actually done 6 of those today. Do you want fancy red or
Want
something?
something else?
So what about a wee colour correction? Like,
That's
let's
the
just go with it.
variety, though. You need the variety. I
Yeah.
couldn't cut all day. See people that are just cutters or just colourists. I couldn't do that.
Have you ever actually worked in a salon? Because I know that there are just colourists and just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I've worked in a salon where we have, it's like segmented, or departmentalised, I think they used to call it. It
Right.
sounds like, but the idea is like, yeah, you have somebody who cuts the hair, somebody who colours it. And I think there is a place for it, absolutely, in the industry. I can see why it would work in a bigger salon environment. And also, it almost makes a lot of stylists double book, for example, right? It takes away that and double booking thing because actually you're visiting 2 people.
Yeah.
So you're not actually double booking, but that other person can see more people during the day.
Yeah.
So I do understand it. But I'm a bit like you, Laura. Like I want to do everything. So
I like
want
to
do
see
it
it
from start to
finished,
finish.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to do it all.
Yeah.
So
But I
it would
do see
be
it.
really repetitive if all you did all day was foil.
Yeah, I get
Over
that.
and over
I
and
know.
over and over. I feel like, I would be going. See, some days I've had a Saturday where I'm doing a lot of foiling work just by coincidence, and I get to like the middle of the day and I think, oh, I wish I'd have put maybe a wee bit of something else in here because all I've
Aye.
done is foil.
It
all
kills
day.
your knees. That's the thing. Just my knees lock and then I go walk away and I can't move my legs.
Kills my happiness. I'm like, it's not too much of it spoiling happening.
So I don't mind foiling. So like, Matt, what would your worst nightmare be if you had to be in a department then, and you were either a cutter, a colourist, or a blow dryer?
Yeah.
What would your worst
It
one?
definitely would not be blow drying.
Yeah, 100% for me
Definitely
that would be
not
the same.
I hate
Mine's
blow
would be
drying.
colour. Mine's would be
daft.
colour. Like I would like to say I'm pretty good at cutting hair, but I've always been renowned for colour. And I remember years and years ago, somebody said to me, if you can put a full head of highlights in an hour, or you can do a haircut in an hour, which one would you rather? Because which one will make you more money?
Well, that's the thing.
A
The
bit
colour's
like
the
that's
money
kinda-
maker. I know.
For me, that's the
Yeah.
thing. But also, I just enjoy it.
Yeah, the blow drying thing for me would be like my worst nightmare if all I
like
was
blow
doing.
drying as
Do
well,
you?
but I just want to do it all day.
No,
I don't
I
mind
don't
blow
mind doing
drying short hair.
one-offs, but see if I was to be doing 12 a day or something, like, oh my days.
It's
can you
like the long straight hair. You're literally like a water extractor. Like, that fries my brain.
So interestingly, I actually saw a thing on TikTok the other day where the girl, it was a stylist, and she was trying to bust a myth on the end of service blow dry. So I've booked in with you to get my colour and my cut done, and I'm getting my blow dry, or a bouncy blow dry appointment. And she was like, these are not the same thing, because
Yeah, I agree.
her sort of point was you're paying more for the bouncy blow dry because that's where we're going to really work at getting those curls really tightly in. It's going to take a lot more time, whereas your end of service blow dry is going to be more like just the style you're going to wear all day every day, bit of a loose wave, bit of a curl, whatever you're wanting.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
I always think maybe just for transparency for the client, they understand what it is. Like if I've cut your hair after we've done a colour application, I need to go back in when it's dry and check that haircut.
Yep.
So I am not going to be able to do a big bouncy blow dry, because if we do a big bouncy blow dry properly, we are going to be pinning each section, making sure that as the pins come out, we might back comb it a wee bit, we might add. So that's a very specific look. And I'm going to rake through it with a comb to check your check your haircut. So all I say to a client is, I'll happily dry it big and full, and we'll get loads of waves in it. Like, it'll be beautiful. But just know that I do need to rake back through it to get. And then we can use hot tools if we want to use hot tools. Blah blah blah. But if you want a big bouncy blow dry and it wants to look like that and stay like that, that's a separate appointment.
Yep, and I agree, because I was always trained the exact same way. I know some stylists don't work like that, but like, you always go back over your cut, because all it takes is for them to have shifted the head just very slightly, or they haven't put it down very far or whatever. And when you're going back over it, you want to make sure it's
not even that. I just think
there's
there's some parts of a haircut that you have to do dry anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I would never frame the face like fully until it was dry. So I would always need to blow dry it under before.
Imagine cutting a brand new fringe in wet, like to the length that you wanted it to be, and not just a bit longer, so that you could then go in and point cut it
And
once
this
it's
sounds
done.
so artsy, but I want to feel it. Like, I want to run my fingers through it and feel it and think, where does it feel heavy? Because sometimes if you, let's say for example, you club cut something the whole way through, and then you maybe run your fingers through it and you're like, that still feels quite chunky here. What I want to do is go back in and softly texture that, rather than, just point cutting everything. So I think you definitely need to, just as long as the client knows, you can get a nice bouncy look, but it's not going to be an actual bouncy blow dry.
So in my salon, everyone generally, unless they've not been cut like fair, then they can have whatever they want, right? But if they've had a haircut, then it gets dried pretty smooth, or as smooth as it can be with a brush, and then they can have whatever they want, but it's done with hot tools. It's waves, it's crimps, it's whatever. I can do whatever you want, but you're not getting the old school brush bouncy blow dry, because I'm not then going to be able to see my own work. And like you say, it would just be so destroying. Stand, bouncy blow dry someone, and then literally undo it all by pulling it all apart. It's like,
that's where your Velcro rollers come in quite handy though, because you can fire them in, put them into the dryer, but obviously if you've not got a dryer.
But it's time, isn't it? I say
like that, where's the dryer going, Laura?
It's
It
all
still
about
isn't
time.
there. There's no dryer. There will be a dryer in my new salon.
Is there?
There's no dryer in the current one. It's all manual, because these two hands are creating the work. Excited for that. Right, so the BAFTAs were last night.
Yes.
Did you guys look at the link I both sent you both?
Yes.
Right. Who was your favourite?
So, you want to go first?
No.
Right, I had one, but now I forget her second name that you've asked me on the spot. Chase, what was her name? Chase.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Oh, she's in that film with Leonardo DiCaprio. Anyway, she was fabulous, but she had this dress on that was gorgeous. It was all like kind of puffed out at the bottom, which was stunning. But also her hair was up, right? And it looked like her natural texture. It was just up. It looked as if it's been thrown up with a couple of Kirby grips. And I was like, this is stunning.
Love it.
She just looks effortlessly beautiful with a gorgeous dress on.
Did you not find the vibe generally to be...
Chase Infinity, that's something.
Chase
I
Infinity.
was just looking for it.
Do you not think the vibe generally was quite minimal makeup? Not everyone, obviously, but like a lot of it felt very natural looking.
Yeah.
It
Volume's gone.
Yeah, it was
Everything
very
now.
sleek. And it just felt like your hair wants to do this, so we're just going to embrace what it wants to do, and not like, I want to look like that, the photo. I actually was quite impressed. I mean, I literally went digging for weird people.
Yeah, ones that you didn't like.
And I couldn't see anything that was horrific. I mean, I was looking for Sam Smith in a bin bag, do you know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't there this year.
Nah.
It just seemed to be really classy.
There was so many beautiful outfits, like even like Tilda Swinton, like she's just, she looked amazing in her suit. And I'm trying to think who else I've seen that was amazing.
So I love Kate Hudson, and even she had her hair up as well. Normally she's always got her hair down, and I thought most of them had their hair up in one shape, but not like
Maura Higgins as well.
Yeah,
from
she was
Love
as well.
Island. She was I think she was on the Traitors US. But I mean, even like Carl, who
Hers
does her
was
hair,
really
is a really talented stylist. He's amazing. But it was beautiful, and it was literally slicked back, but had like a really beautiful part in the middle. Like, and the dress was gorgeous as well. So no, there was loads apart from the controversy that was happening at the BAFTAs. But
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, so did you? Have you
I
watched
literally went
Ice?
looking for hair makeup, because obviously I've got a 1-year-old. I have to prioritise.
You're like, I don't have time to watch
I'm
this.
like, no, I didn't watch it. I just looked.
I Swear, have you watched it? So it's a film about Tourette's.
it's an amazing film.
It's an amazing film, and oh my god, so glad they won some of the awards.
They were up for like 4 or something, weren't they?
But so well deserved. They should have won more, right?
I know.
But there was obviously a Tourette's outburst in the audience while Michael B. Jordan was collecting an award, and the N word was shouted. But obviously, it was Tourette's.
So difficult,
So
I know.
it was just such a difficult thing, because you can understand on one side why you'd be offended. It's a word that you shouldn't have ever used, right? but also at the same time, this person has a neurological disability.
So what happened? Did the
Well, the I think the BBC or whatever it was on apologised. But I think there needs to be more than just an apology. It's like an explanation. It's like, yes, I know we understand why you would be offended by this. However, please note it does not come from a place that was meant to be offensive.
And I think that's the biggest thing. That film kind of brought a wee bit more awareness and understanding of what it actually is.
100%.
But if you've not watched that film, then
You would be offended. You would be offended.
But so was he offended, the person that he shouted
I
at?
think they were offended at the time. I mean, I don't think there's been anything released as of yet, but I think, if you are offended by it, watch the film and you'll understand why there is no offence meant in it.
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
I can understand. I think, there's probably going to be that shock, like, oh my
100%,
God, like they've
aye.
just shouted
But it's
that.
not his fault.
No,
Aye,
I
it's
know.
not his fault.
So shock from the person that shouted it
And
as
it's
well.
quite ironic then that they would be at the festival
I know.
that would literally like
Celebrating
I'm
that.
do you know the thing is, I am so cynical. I'm like, or was it all planned?
I know.
that wee guy's going to
Which
come
is
out
a
and he's going to be
shame.
like, I don't actually have it. I was a paid
No, I
actor.
know,
I'm
that's a
releasing
shame.
it. No, I'm
Can you
not.
imagine?
But I mean,
But
in
no,
the
it was-
film, like when he goes up to receive like his award, does he not call the Queen like
Aye,
and
absolutely.
something as well? Like they can't help
He has
it.
an outburst. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like they say the most inappropriate thing at that time.
Yeah.
So what is the most inappropriate thing? It comes to the
Yeah.
head, but it comes out.
Yeah.
So, but it's not their fault. And I think the thing is,
know.
that's what we need to understand more about it
Yeah.
and be a wee bit more socially acceptable
Yeah.
with it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it'll all be fine in the end.
I think it has to be fine
Yeah.
because I think it is a sign of the times. If
Yeah.
it's not, do you know what I mean? Like, people should have an understanding. So
Yeah.
if MD was to make a thing about it, I don't know.
And you're also allowed to be offended, aren't you? You can be offended, but then you can also say,
Yeah.
do you know what? Now I understand why that
Yeah.
happened. So now I'm not offended.
Yeah, I know. And people like to be offended anyway, don't
It's their
they?
favourite thing.
There's a guy on TikTok that does it's mostly children.
Tourette's barber. He's
Yeah.
brilliant.
He is.
And he brings in kids with Tourette's and
Yeah.
helps them and blah, blah, blah.
Because
This
obviously,
guy's a legend.
Yeah, because I don't do guys here. I don't work with like imagine how stressful it would be if you're right in at someone's ear and then
They
they
just
pull
go,
away
yeah,
or
they
they
have a
switch
tick,
or they.
yep.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Like he's got to have some serious reflexes to make sure they don't get injured.
In all fairness, that's not just Tourette's, that's kids in general. Isn't
No,
it?
I know.
I'm
Actually,
like,
kids can be really difficult. It's always a controversial subject, that isn't it? Because a kid's cut is like peanuts to the salon, but
Yeah.
it can take you forever because
my
they're.
salon.
Do you not do them?
No, I'd charge appropriately.
Yeah.
I'm just like, if you want a kid's haircut, if you're bringing, sorry, what was your girl's
Hallie.
name? If you bring Hallie in, right, and you're passing, or you think, can I jump in, and I'm only cutting that tiny wee bit off the back of Hallie's hair, I'll be like, that Hallie's hair's free. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Because you're my client, I'll do it complimentary for you. It'll take me 3.5 seconds, right,
Yeah.
for a baby. However, if you want to book an hour in my time to get a proper haircut for your kid, it's going to take me the same amount of time as it is to cut Laura's hair.
Oh,
A
no,
lot of the
so
time it takes longer because if they're not sitting,
Yeah.
and it's way more stressful.
Yeah.
So
and then
I-
we make a point of doing it right. So
Yeah.
we're done properly. And also we can take our time getting them used to what it's like to come get your hair done.
Yeah.
So do you want me to wash it for them? We can get the blow dryer on. If it's a wee boy, we can get the clippers on. We might not use them, but get them used to
to
them
it.
beside, like to show them that it doesn't hurt them and blah, blah, blah. So we can take the time to do that. But if we're taking time, that's what we're selling. So
Yeah,
you need
it's
to
like an
pay for
education at that
Aye,
point, I know.
Exactly.
I find it really awkward. I've got like two levels. So if you're wanting a significant amount off,
Yeah.
or you're an age or a thickness of hair that needs washed and done properly, then you're a cut and blow dry. There isn't a separate price for
No,
you.
and there shouldn't
But
be.
the kids' trims, it's sometimes I find it awkward when you take on a new child that you've never done their hair and they wiggle about and they move about. And so what should take 10 minutes
Exactly.
starts taking more like 40 minutes. You're now running really behind. You've done half their haircut because they keep pulling away from you or they won't stand still. And they're only wee, so they don't know.
They don't know any better.
But it's a really difficult one because how do you then turn around to the mum and say, you're actually going to be 30 quid for that because that's taking me nearly an hour?
I
You know,
hate
like-
the word trim.
I just tell them how
I
much it
hate
is
when
at
they
the
say
start.
it's just a trim. If I need to pick my scissors up and go through it,
100%.
it doesn't matter how much hair's on the floor. You're
right.
still going
When
through
a
the
client says,
haircut.
You're getting a
it'll
laugh to
take-
my own heart. I'm exactly the same. If I
see-
pick these scissors up, I'm
I'm
charging
not
you a
charging by how
haircut.
much I'm taking off.
But I'll also be really honest with you. So see if you come into me and say, I just want like this tiny bit off my ends. I'll say to you, Laura, do you really want me to charge you £75 for a haircut?
Yeah.
And that's how much I'm
Give
taking
it another
off.
month.
Aye, exactly. Get it cut on your next colour application. So you're building a loyalty with somebody
Mm-hmm.
and not just taking the money off them for the sake of it. But like, if I pick these scissors up, you're
I
getting
know,
charged.
it is. I
Do you
hate
ever
that
have
word
like
trim.
anyone tell you that it'll just take you 5 minutes?
All
Yeah,
the time.
I know.
And you're like,
I know.
Well, why don't you do then?
I know.
That's my favourite. That's my favourite response. It's just a few foils at the front. Great. Well, if you go up the road, go and do them for me and let me know how you get on. I'll check them at the end.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, no.
Can you imagine they come in and you've got a kit bag sitting?
No.
Can you just return that to me tomorrow? Mind that only takes 12 minutes processing, right? But you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, yeah, it's craziness. The world sometimes sees our industry as like this silly industry of uneducated people, and it's so unfair because you're like, it actually takes years to become
Good
skilled.
at what we do.
But actually, I met my neighbour when out, so I've been watching my mum's dog last 3 weeks, and I'm not a dog person, right? So that's another story. But I was out with the dog last night, hungover to hell, and obviously I never had a scrap of makeup on, and then you see my neighbour walking up the road. I was like, obviously I'm going to meet somebody. So she was like, oh, how are you? You don't look that great. But anyway, so she was saying, how much do you charge for a wee boy's haircut in the salon? And I was like, what age? So basically, she was talking to another neighbour who'd taken her son and they were charged £20. I said, you'll probably find he doesn't want to do kids. That's why he charges that. And that's just what it comes back
That's
down
also
to
though,
again.
but did he
How
just
long did he sit for? Do you
take
know?
forever? I know, that's what I mean.
Just,
Like,
it's funny, I just remembered that there, that she said that.
Comes really difficult.
I know.
I used to have, so I've got quite a lot of people in my world that have children with additional needs.
Yeah.
And so I kind of pride myself on being quite patient and maybe having a wee bit more of a background to the knowledge of how to work on a client that's like that. So I used to offer out spaces. I can't now because I only work 2 days.
Yep.
I don't have it. It's not. And so like on my quieter mornings or whatever, I would sort of allocate these. But you're talking, it can take like an hour to do a 5-minute job. And I used to just charge the tenner, you know, like almost like the salon wouldn't make any money. It was like a token, but it felt like you were including them in a situation and nobody was hating their lives. But I have seen quite a lot of people comment and saying like, oh, I specialise in additional needs haircuts, but they've got 20 stylists working in their salon, and you're like, well, you have to be honest, you don't. You're going to make that wee person potentially very uncomfortable because it's going to be really loud, really overwhelming, a lot of foot flow, a lot of hairdryer noise, and it might be that they actually don't require a silent appointment or a quiet appointment. They might be okay, but it's a difficult thing because you don't want to discriminate, but you also need to make a wage.
Yeah,
So it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to find a balance of
I think the bigger a space is, the more you would expect it from them. Like, you know, if you have a bigger salon or a bigger space, like I wouldn't expect you to offer an additional needs haircut or, you know, stuff like that. However, when you have a shop front, maybe like then you would be like, maybe they should do that. You know, I'm actually considering, like, you have to pick things that are going to be close to your heart. So I actually seen on Instagram somebody offered when their clients are going through any sort of chemotherapy or radiotherapy, they actually just do their hair for free for the whole journey. And I thought to myself,
that's amazing.
I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, I love that.
Because they're your clients. You know, they're the people who have supported you for such a long time. And anybody who goes through that needs support. And how nice would it be to be the hairdresser who can actually support them and be like, I'll shave your hair off if that's what you want. I'll help support you cut your hair into a short style when it's growing back through and it's a weird texture that you're never used to. You know, like I'll help you, show you how to style it, or just be there. And then once they get to a certain stage, right, all right, Moira, you're fucking cancer free now, so you can start paying me again. Aye. But at the same time, I just think, how nice would it be just to be able to support?
I think that's one of the worst things about going through that is like the hair loss and the way the hair comes back through. Because how many people that comes back through and it's a different texture and they've never had curly hair before, and it comes back curly.
Exactly. So I think that would just be really nice. So it's definitely something I'm going to start doing.
Love that. We've glazed on pure pigments. I know.
I like that choice of word.
We've glazed on pure pigments before, but it wasn't on your episode. And if there's a man for the knowledge, it is Goldwell Guru over here. So obviously, with Goldwell having its own pure pigments, I think are they the only brand? Yeah. So you can add pigment to your colour formulation to customise it to that client's head. And I think it's quite a cool topic to talk about, especially because it is the only brand that offer it. Maybe other stylists would take inspiration from knowing that that's a thing, because it does definitely. I know that some stylists that work with Goldwell are scared of them because they're like, I'm not putting pink in a blonde. Like, I'm not doing that. But I absolutely love them. I love them. And I really love that you can create vibrancy and things without too much effort. As in, like, it's once you've got the knack of it, it's pretty easy.
I think, like anything, it all comes down to the knowledge of it. So I think to understand and use Pure Pigments properly, you need to understand what they are. So unlike most manufacturers, they are not a mixed tone. So it is not an oxidative mixed tone that goes in with your permanent colour or your demi-permanent hair colour. They stand completely on their own and they are a direct pigment. So that direct pigment This was done over 17 years in collaboration with Fujifilm. So as you can imagine, it took them so long to bring it to market because there was so much research behind it. So they're an additive that goes into any oxidative colour. So whether it's, permanent hair colour, permanent hair colour, and they can change the complete colour direction depending on how much you put in. The technology behind it is called HD3 technology. So the HD and then 3 is for 3 different Ds. So it's like direct disassociated dyes, right? So it's a big mouthful. But the idea behind that is that each colour molecule is a different size. So it sits in a different place in the hair. So traditionally, if we were to mix violet and yellow together, what would happen is they would mix together and they would brown out, so they would neutralise. This doesn't happen with Pure pigments. What it does is the violet and the yellow will work side by side, and you'll be able to see both pigments in the hair. So it's dead exciting because people are like, oh, can you really do that? And yes, you can do what you can normally do with mixed tones. You can use Pearl Blue or matte green to, neutralise and soften. But there's so many other services you can do with them. So some of the services that we offer are colour boosting. So you've got a red and you might make it redder or more orange, or even if you have a brown that you just want to make shinier, you can use Pure Yellow to create shine rather than making it actually yellow. So that boosts the colour. We also have colour morphing, which is amazing because the colour morphing actually helps you combine colours that you wouldn't necessarily combine to get unique results. So just recently, I love a copper, but I love a copper that you put green in.
I knew you were going to say that there.
Green in, you put orange in, and you put yellow in, and it is beautiful. So,
okay, I've not done the green and a copper. I was going to say I love orange and red in my KG.
Yeah.
Like I think, and
But
see
that's
when
the
you take a
obvious
video,
choice.
yeah, and I know, but like obviously sometimes people want the obvious it's so shiny,
and
it's
that's
so
a
vibrant.
colour. That's a colour boosting service.
Oh,
So
I
you're
love it.
boosting the result with it, which is beautiful.
So what does the green do then? If
The
you put
green
that?
almost just, it mattifies the colour a wee tiny bit, depending on how much green you put in, obviously. But a lot of the times, I think we maybe spoke about this in the last time, like when you're doing coppers, a lot of the time they become quite unnatural because they do become either too red or too orange. The green or even adding the blue just almost softens everything out a wee bit.
like
And
cowboy copper.
no, even softer than that
even
sometimes,
softer.
yeah.
Okay.
But the good thing about Pure pigments is they're fully intermixable. So if you were doing a colour morphing service, we only kind of recommend you use up to 3 different pigments maximum in each mixture, because then you're just throwing everything at it. So you don't really see it. But you can add anything up to 10% of your whole colour mass in there. So just to get technical, if you were mixing 40 mils of developer, 40 mils of colour, that gives you 80 in total. Therefore, you'd be able to add 8 mils maximum into a colour mixture. However, that's great for lower levels, but if you're up at level 8 or level 9, you don't really be wanting adding mils of the stuff in because it's really potent. A couple of drops is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So like we said earlier, pink in a blonde toner is,
Beautiful.
oh my God, it'll give you the whitest white blonde that everybody wants, but you need to use the pink. It's stunning.
But it's scary because obviously when you
Absolutely.
mix it, it's pink.
It goes pink.
I mean, you are looking at it thinking, oh my God. So I did one of my client nads, I did pink in hers, and she was sitting in front of the mirror and she's like, Lisa, I would never not usually trust you, but my hair is
It's
pink.
pink, yeah.
She referenced, the grease. Grease lightning. Yeah. What's the woman called out of that?
Rizzo.
Rizzo. No, it's the other one. But anyway, she was
You know what
like,
I mean.
I don't want to look like her. And I was like, no, just trust me. Like once we wash it, and it's stunning. But so I've managed to get videos because I don't think that you can get, unless someone sees the hair up close and personal, you don't appreciate how you can see the colour on the shaft of the hair. And I tried to get like videos of like up close.
It's like an oil slick, isn't it?
It's
Like
beautiful.
when the hair moves, you see different light reflections. But that's because the pigment is so unique. So when you mix it into your oxidative colour, for all the hairdressers out there, the oxidative colour still works on the inside of the cortex, so it changes the colour there. However, the Pure pigments, that's why the wee @ symbol's there, because the wee @ symbol symbolises a wrap around the cuticle.
Oh, that's cute.
What then happens is the @ wraps around the cuticle and you get all these tones on the outside part of the cuticle. So it's a beautiful colour, and I would recommend it to anybody. You can use Pure pigments by the manufacturers.
I was
as well.
just about to ask, right?
Yeah.
And I knew this was
If
going to be
you really
potentially a
wanted
controversial
to-
question, but like that was my next question.
Yeah,
For
it's
people that are
controversial.
maybe using like Wella or L'Oreal or something, are they able to purchase Pure pigments from Goldwell? Then yes. Okay.
Yes, you absolutely can. However, what your other manufacturer will say is that it is not recommended,
Yeah.
because that's the same thing. Like, if you were to mix our bleach with a different developer, we'd
Yeah.
say the same thing. So you can do it if you want to experiment and have fun, but maybe would you go down towards doing loads of clients with Pure Pigments? You might not. I don't know. It's up
Yeah.
to you. If
Would
you like them, use them. If you don't.
Yeah.
But
it would affect your insurance as well, because then you're
you
going
need to be
against
careful with stuff like
manufacturers
that.
and whatever. Yeah, but we'll not go into the legal stuff.
So it's not in manufacturers, but if you want to just have fun, and the one thing I would say is swatches are amazing. They don't cost a lot of money, and see for a salon and you really want to play and come up with your own unique formulas, that's what it's all about.
Yep.
This colour can be fully bespoke, and as soon as you add Pure Pigments into any mixture, you're going to get a 3 times more shiny result. So it doesn't matter what one you use, it's just going to make everything shinier.
Yeah.
So I'm like, sold.
Why would you not use
Aye.
them then at that point?
What's that?
You would use them at that, even
Absolutely,
for that alone.
just for more shine. Somebody's like, I
Yeah.
want my hair really shiny. It's great.
Yeah.
And it makes your colour last longer as well.
Yeah.
So actually, the durability on the colour lasts
Yeah.
longer because you're using that direct pigment to get a more intensive result.
Can you use them in with the gloss tones?
No.
Right, okay.
They're just no compatible, and it's more to do, I think, with the texture.
Right.
So gloss tones obviously are really watery, so that they
Yeah.
spread properly, which
Yeah.
is great. Brilliant product. We've got
Yeah.
so much coming for gloss tones. I can't
I
wait
love
to
the
do
gloss
these.
tones. I was terrified of the gloss tones for a while. I don't know why. They work so well,
so
but
well.
they actually look quite dark when they're
Yeah.
processing until you
Or
dry it.
sometimes they don't change at
Uh-huh.
all when they're
Yeah, yeah.
processing. There's a few shades that you put on,
Yeah.
you time, because it's got a 10-minute development
Yeah.
time. You take it off and you think, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then you blow dry it and you go, oh, hello, beautiful. So,
But the shine that you even get for them, I mean, I love them, absolutely.
yeah, we
love
get
them
asked
now.
this all the time. Can you put them in
Yeah.
with gloss tones?
Yeah.
No. Can you put them in with bleach? No.
Aye.
Can we, there's
Well,
loads
but
of
obviously
stuff.
the bleach is just going to take out the
I
colour.
know, but a hairdresser's favourite thing in the world is to break the rules.
I know.
Like, I am like that. And so, see, when it comes to an education meeting, I will sit in London, blah, 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 and then I'll go, and they're like, Brian, we're getting to it. And I'm like, sorry. And then I'll be like, Brian, we're getting to it. And I literally am just asking, what rules can I break? Because every hairdresser that I give it to
Yeah.
is going to break the rules. So it's just about, have you done it? Yes. Does it work? No.
Yeah, you're just pouring your pigment
meant to
down the
do it.
drain because the bleach is just going to evaporate
Yeah.
the colour.
Yeah.
Also, a great one. Do you want a high lift colour, for example? High lift pink, high lift red, high lift, mix it in with blonding cream.
I love blonding
maximum.
cream. Yeah.
So it'll give you like a baby pink highlight.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So you can mix them in with your high lift blondes as well. So if you want the high lift blondes, you can add them in with that. It's the fierce.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
So
I've
much
never,
with them.
I've never gone down the high lift route. I use them a lot in all my colours. Like I've said to you, because when we first met, I was like, I use them in every colour I do, just about like whether it's one drop, whether it's 3, whether it's whatever. I customise everything that I do. And then because some people are scared, because I remember when I was in your salon and Laura was doing mine, she was like, you want me to add blue to it? And I was like, yeah. She was like, no,
I've
you
not
do
got a
it.
lot of experience with it. I'm getting better now with
Well, see, the
it.
thing is, what you're doing is you're adding drops at a time. That's what makes it safer.
Yeah.
So you're just adding wee drops. And then what you can then do is we would recommend you measure everything on a scale. If you're still out there and you're mixing up colour without using a scale, behave yourself. Buy yourself a set of scales. And
Hey,
enough's
what are they
enough.
using instead?
So they do it by eye, or they're just pouring it in, blah, blah, blah. I've seen
Right,
it loads
Russian
of
roulette.
Yep, absolutely. But Pure Pigments has to be mixed on a scale. But the idea is like a few drops is great. And then you go to 0. Whatever grams. So you can maybe do 0.8 grams, and then you get a bit braver because that's more. And then eventually, before you know it, you'll be putting mils in here
I
and
know.
there everywhere, because
love it.
it gets exciting. And you can see there's also on the Go Well app, plug, but on the Go Well app, what you can actually do is you can actually see the effects of Pure Pigments on some of your shades. So you pick a shade, then pick your Pure Pigment shades, and then it'll give you a visual representation of what it would look like if you were to do it. So kind of saves you the swatching situation if you
Yeah.
don't have time.
That's very fancy. That's becoming almost like, like Yuv.
Yeah.
You've
Well, a wee
loved-
bit like that, except it doesn't
Where it
mix
kinda-
it for you.
Aye, Yuv obviously mixes it and then shows you like your last person. And I also saw like there's quite cool things coming out. I wish Goldfield would do it where it just mixes it for you. That'd be amazing. But like also the members, like
Yeah.
Sheila only needs a 40 mil,
Yeah.
mix because her hair's maybe because
That's probably their biggest selling point, isn't it? So there's no wastage.
Yeah. We use Vish for that though.
Yeah,
So
so
I don't know
that's
if you've
one of the
used
ones I was
Vish,
looking
it's
at. I
great,
contacted them.
So can you use Fish still with Goldwell?
Yeah, absolutely. You can use Vish with any. What company do I work for? You can use Vish with any manufacturer. They'll load any manufacturer into you. And the idea behind Vish is that minimises your wastage. So that when, say, I've mixed up 80 mils for Lisa's hair,
Yeah.
but I come back and I reweigh my bowl,
Yeah.
my bowl has an extra 10 mils left in it. Next time Lisa comes in, I'm only mixing up
Yeah.
70. But it automatically works with your in-salon software to save all those formulas.
Love that.
So you don't have to write anything down. You just click on
Yeah.
your notes and you've got it for previous. So
Yeah.
it is actually, it's really invaluable. And then there's a business building side to it, whereas they will then help you and support you if you are using more colour. Maybe it's time that Lisa, when she comes in, has to pay an extra £5
Yeah.
for the amount of colour that she uses. So it's very
Love
clever
that.
on how it works, yeah.
I think because that's one of the biggest worries when you take on, like, certainly with me with juniors, and I'll say, right, can you mix up? And I'll be shouting over.
Yep.
And in my brain, I'm like, right, do me a 40 and 40 at the minute, and then you're like, oh Christ, I'm way too shy, and then that's you need to mix again, and it's delaying
I
you
would
and
love
stuff.
you in the salon. I'm like, mix up 5 times. You've been mixing up. If I see any wastage, you're getting it.
I know.
But that takes so long in your head to remember. And then sometimes, like, Lucy's left me now and I'm very, very upset about it. She was like my wingman. She was just running the salon. She would look at ahead and know. And it actually got to a point where I hadn't mixed the colour myself in so long that I was like,
how'd you do
then
this?
then Paula's like, what do you want? And I was like, show me what 30 looks like again. Like, oh no. Like, we need, do you know? It's brilliant. Right, will we play Would You Rather?
Oh,
I'm going to bring up the
absolutely.
questions.
Love how you came.
Okay.
I'm a bit nervous.
I know.
Right, we'll go Brian first.
Right.
Would you rather be double booked all day
Uh-huh.
or have every single client come in and tell you to do what you want and then complain that they hate it?
I'd rather be double booked all day. Because, do I answer first and then I'll tell you why?
I don't like complainers, so I would have to be like double booked, as in like I've double booked
You've
two
by
clients.
mistake.
Aye.
Yep, everyone's showing up double.
Oh, that's
know.
a nightmare. But then it's not necessarily, you're not going to get the grief, and I think there's probably ways you could still work around that.
Yeah, you might get the grief though when someone's like, I've been waiting an hour
I
for my
know.
appointment.
I wouldn't like
It's
to
a pretty
have to
hideous
redo
situation,
here.
really.
Well, it is hideous both times. Do you know why I
told
would
you.
pick? Do you know why I picked the double booking? Right, I think because back in the day, I would have normally worked like where I'd have maybe 4, sometimes 5 clients at a time in the salon. Right, I've got the experience to deal with that, so I think I would
You could
struggle.
handle it.
I would struggle, but I could handle it.
Yeah.
And also in my head, I used to always think your day will be over soon.
Yeah.
You will finish it. It doesn't matter what time you're finishing it, but you will finish at some point. Whereas, see if everybody turns up, you do whatever you want, you have a great creative day and they all hate it. You've got to come back in and work another day and fix it all again.
Yeah, that's
So,
what
nah, I'm out at that one.
Yeah, I'm out.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, would you rather that one of your regulars came in and they'd box dye black their hair the night before their appointment,
Yeah.
or they've cut it themselves? So they've cut layers, you know, like TikTok tie it in a bobble cut and it's a riot, or they've black box dyed it. What would you rather?
I'd rather they cut it.
Would you?
Aye.
Okay.
Depends how severe we're talking about cuts here.
Because
I mean, if we're talking about like an inch all over at the front, then there's not much you can do with it. The thing is, I love both these scenarios because it's on them. It's nothing to do with me. So you're not a magician. So
Yep.
either way.
so that's the nicer one then.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's
And then the
nicer.
last question.
I'd rather the haircut because I feel like I can fix the haircut to whatever degree as I can fix it. Black box dye is a wee bit like, I probably, if it's only one application, I probably could get it back out again.
Yeah.
But we're back at the start. We're away down here. We need
It's
to be
the
up there
time
somewhere.
as well.
Aye. So haircut, I would rather.
Okay. Right.
You would like a box dye because you
I
like
do the box
fixing
dye all day, every day.
Yeah.
All day,
Yeah.
every day. I'll take the box dye.
Yeah.
So I get quite excited by a box dye correction. I
Yeah.
actually personally do quite like it. I mean, sometimes obviously it's like it comes out. Obviously, we were talking about the Go Blonder spray. I mean,
That's
you're not
right.
wanting to go down that route.
Aye,
that would
we
be
don't
not.
want that.
No, we don't want that. Or henna or something horrendous. But yeah, if it's just a wee chemist
Nice
box
and easy.
dye, keep it a wee nice and easy. Shade 1. What did you think that was going to create? Chocolate brown.
I know, that's
right.
exactly
Okay. Okay. So would you rather? I know both your answers, right? But I'll put a wee curveball in. A 3-hour silent appointment where they chew their food and breathe really heavily. Or a 3-hour drama trauma dump on you.
Do you know what? I'd pick the silent appointment.
all day.
I would. I actually would
I
because
don't mind people eating either.
I mean, well,
I just threw that in there. It was the only thing I could think that might trigger one of you.
no, I don't know about the eating part. That wouldn't annoy me too much.
don't know about the
but I just think, sometimes I don't mind a good conversation. See if it's a good conversation. But sometimes when somebody just comes in and that's it, I'm like, mate, I don't have the mental capacity for this.
Nah, that's a lot. I had a lady actually, it was a shame, she lost her mum and we probably spent about 40 minutes before we even got her
Trying to
washed.
find her?
Because I thought she just obviously... No.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I had to. Is she in the back? Is she under the backwash? Oh,
I don't know what's worse. Imagine him doing
Sorry, I
the
had
the
to.
funeral was on
I'm
at the
sorry.
time.
I know.
that was
Oh
such
my
a dad
God.
joke, wasn't it?
But yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot of drama. And I think she just needed somebody to like offload on.
Yeah.
But
I know,
eventually
that
I
was
was
it.
like, right, we
Aye.
really need to get you washed now. And it's quite draining. See when somebody's on you like
Constantly.
that's a lot. It is a lot. But yeah, I'll take the silent all day.
Silent appointment.
Jesus, yeah. Oh my God.
How do you feel about clients bringing in really stinky food, like lunches for themselves?
My staff do that.
I know.
Do they?
hate
Oh, we
when-
weren't allowed. See, when I trained.
Mine aren't allowed either,
Categorically
but I
not
know they
allowed.
still do it when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Do you know what? A client is there for the experience, but so is the other clients. So I do have a bit of an issue with it sometimes. I've got a client, for example, that will bring food in at the end of the night. She's the last client, get something to eat. Feel like there's takeaways on her road.
Yeah.
No bother. That's no stress whatsoever. But if it's really rotten in the salon in the middle of the day, I think it's quite inappropriate.
There's
isn't it?
nothing there's nothing worse than smelling somebody else's lunch, like when you're not eating it.
And it's not, I bet you it's never even something nice, you know, like somebody's making toast, you think, toast
I
smells
know.
lovely, doesn't it? Whereas like, oh, wait, you having for your lunch? Oh, I've just decided to bring in last night's salmon and broccoli. I no bother.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
That is the kind of things that they whip out.
I'm just sitting eating
Kinda
a
hard.
boiled egg for my protein.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't mind that as much. That would be all right.
No.
But sometimes somebody's got the microwave in there and you hear ping
Oh,
and it's
don't.
last night's Indian. And I'm like, I don't think so.
I think it's worse for us because we don't have like a door on, like the salon where we eat is still quite part of the salon. I do. It's a packet of chicken. See when somebody opens like sliced chicken, I'm like, who's got the chicken? It smells like farts.
Somebody's farted in the packet.
I know, or just cold meat.
So the salon I trained didn't have a microwave. Like
Yeah, we don't.
there was a
We
fridge
don't.
and there was a kettle, and then you were allowed to go get takeouts. But there was a lot of like salad bars and maybe like macaroni cheese, stuff like that. Like we just brought our
We
own
don't have a
lunches.
microwave because who would be left to clean it? Me.
Well, to
And
be
it
fair,
takes up so much space.
one salon does have a microwave and they do clean it because they've got the space for it. But it's all with discretion, isn't it? I don't mind. Bring in what you want, have your lunch. I mean, you
It's
don't want you
hard.
not to eat,
I
but just
know.
like have
When
a
you
thought
work
about
hard
the
as
client
well.
experience first. That's the
know.
most important thing. It's
I
the client
know.
experience. So if you're sitting there with your highlights on and it smells of tuna, I'd be raging. Do you know what I mean?
And that's hopefully because they're bought something to eat and not because
Exactly.
they just have came from a night out or something.
Exactly.
Like, oh my God. I actually had a beautician client, and that was one of her, like, I mean, we talk about our sort of problems in the salon. So she was a waxer. That was what she did.
It's the best stories.
Oh
Shirley,
my
old
days.
beautician,
No, but
has
it's
the
horrifying.
best stories.
People would go to the gym and then pop in for their wax
Yep.
without showering on the way back.
Absolutely.
In what world is that okay? That's horrific.
Not showering before a waxing appointment. Like she has, like,
That's
shout out to
horrible.
Shelley as well, who is no longer a beauty therapist. She's actually she's training. She's training
thought
as
you
a
were gonna say
nurse.
she's no longer with
she's
us.
training as a. We lost her. She's under the table somewhere. She's
right.
actually training to be a nurse now, and she's going to be a fantastic nurse. But some of the stories like are
not
unreal.
surprised she's
I mean, I don't
changed
even know
career.
if I could even tell some of them in a podcast, but like it is so funny, so
yeah.
funny.
Final question to wrap us up then. Would you rather never work again or post every hair fail you've ever had in your whole career? I mean, I'm talking from training right the way through.
Post
I'd
every
post
hair
every
fill.
hair fill.
Oh, see, that shows us that we love our industry.
Absolutely.
I think as well it's growth, isn't
Ah,
it?
you
Like,
learn
I'm
from
not
it.
ashamed of like you have to come from somewhere, don't you?
Aye.
So I think it says a lot if you can stand by like, okay, I wouldn't do this now.
I've learned new
I know, but I
techniques.
think we're
since
all
then.
human beings and everybody's made a mistake at one point, be as long as you learn from it.
I said that to you, like when I
Plus,
came
I
back to
couldn't
the
not work.
industry, and balayage wasn't a thing when I trained. So
Yeah.
when I did my, and I'm going to air quote here, the first balayage of my best pal, I look at it now and I think,
Yeah, we've all been there
I
though.
would never do that now, but yeah, we learn. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Brian. We've really enjoyed it. And thank you for watching, listening, liking and subscribing. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please give us a share, a comment, a thumb up. We appreciate all the support.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.